Hello, my name is Sankalp Sangle and I am a prospective student for the Master of Science in Computer Science program for fall 2021 at Columbia University. Columbia is actually one of the few universities which has this video introduction format. And I personally found it very interesting because video opens up so many possibilities for me to express myself. So let's hope that by the end of this video, you'll learn something about me and you'll wish to know me better. So let's get into it. I was brought up in Pune, a historical city in the state of Maharashtra in India. I did my schooling, 12 years of it, from the Bishop School camp. And it's a school I give a lot of credit to for having molded me into the person I am today. At Bishop's, I was very lucky to be exposed to a variety of different activities. I was a quizzer, I represented my school in spell bees, in football or soccer in this case, and in athletics as well. I was also one of the founding members of the Rubik's Cube club in school. I can solve a Rubik's Cube in less than 30 seconds. I like to think of myself as a jack of many trades, a master of some. It's a more realistic take on the proverb. I remember back in grade 5, we were exposed to HTML and introductory programming in BASIC. And I remember it really caught my eye. I recall going back home and making a web page with anchor tags for all of my favorite websites, just as a way to access them easily. I did not know the concept of bookmarks back then. A few years down the line, in grade 8, we were being taught introductory C++, and I remember a teacher giving us the description of a bubble sort. Now, bubble sort is a sorting algorithm to put numbers or a deck of cards in order, along those lines. And writing the code for bubble sort is a very trivial task for a trained computer scientist. But I recall going back home and spending time in figuring out the code for bubble sort myself. And I was quite pleased when I actually managed to figure it out. Why is it important? This is important because this is something I chose to do. I am a person who really needs to like something in order to do it and to do it well. Finding an activity which I will willingly spend my time on, voluntarily spend my time on, given the fact that I have time, was quite a find for me, or rather is quite a find for me. And programming was definitely one of them. I remember by the end of my school year, I had developed a full-fledged Java application for printing student report cards, and it came into use in school post that year. So I definitely had both an affinity as well as the fact that I was good at it. So these two factors really pushed me towards my interest in computer science. I was also quite grateful to Bishops for having selected me for an exchange program for 2 months to Nyungin Middle School in Daegu in South Korea. That was actually my first experience abroad, and it was the first time I had to experience a different culture, get used to it, live in it, and thrive in it. And so that was really the first time where I was pushed out of my comfort zone in terms of the immediate surroundings around me. And that really was a very foundational experience for me. So all in all, I think I had a very eventful school life. So in India, we actually have to decide on what major we wish to pursue in college as we are entering college, as opposed to say joining college, taking a few courses, and then deciding on what major you wish to pursue. In my case, this decision was very easy because what's the one subject which I can both envision spending time on and I'm good at? And computer science was the relatively straightforward answer for both of these things. So I took the BITSAT entrance examination and joined BITS Pilani to pursue my bachelor's degree in computer science. College is where I really fell in love with this subject. CS as a field it's vast, and so I spent my time in classes, hackathons, just trying out a lot of things to get my hands dirty with. I started out small, simple web crawling projects on downloading comic strips from Saturday Morning Breakfast Cereal, which is a comic series that I really enjoy. But as I gained maturity, as I understood what's really out there in computer science, I started making things which were more substantial. I took up the courses of linguistics and information retrieval in college, and based on these learnings, I created a chatbot as a pet project. My chatbot ended up being used by 600 college students and processed 20,000 messages on the day of launch. I was still a quizzer in college and I represented my college soccer teams. I was also the head of the Department of Stage Controls. It's a body which concerns itself with the organization and production of all events in the college auditorium. The summer between my junior and senior year, I pursued an internship at Cisco Systems, Bengaluru, in the Cloud and Network Security Division. Cisco was brilliant, and the crowning achievement for any intern is to see their code go into production. In my case, my proof of concept on health monitoring of firewalls led to an entire division and a team of engineers being formed around it. And that incident gave me a lot of confidence in myself and my abilities. Ever since my exchange program to South Korea as a student, I had a longing to pursue education abroad. So I did my final year undergraduate thesis in data center traffic visualization at the School of Computing, National University of Singapore from January to June 2020. And Singapore was again very memorable. Working in a lab, a research environment gave me both the motivation, the validation, and the exposure I needed before pursuing a master's degree in computer science. Presently, after graduation, I joined Cisco Systems again from August 2020, and currently I write plugins for Snort 3, which is a custom intrusion prevention system for Cisco's firewalls. Steve Jobs made a very memorable speech in a commencement address to students of Stanford University in 2005, where he talked about connecting the dots backwards. The gist of it is that you do not know totally where a life decision is going to take you. You just take it hopefully with enough justification in mind so that when you look back on your life in a few years, you can actually connect the dots backwards and the pieces seem to fit in place. I have faced a similar experience as well. I never had any long-term plans in mind when I took a liking to computer science as a kid. I never know why I wrote those programs back in school. I never knew why I took the linguistics course in college, which really opened my eyes as to what I could do with computers. I have just kept doing what I like to do. Currently, I'm interested in cloud and distributed systems, and I would like to know more about them. I remember my answer to one of the questions in the HR round of Cisco about why Cisco. And my reply to that was, I want to create impact, and that's what Cisco lets me do. I have a very similar motivation for learning about cloud as well. Cloud computing touches everything we do. Secondly, I also wish to pursue natural language processing to build on my experience with the chatbot. Columbia has both a very strong natural language processing group as well as a great systems group. The location itself, New York, is also one of the primary factors about which leads me towards pursuing a master's in computer science at Columbia University. However, the true benefits of choosing Columbia would only be revealed as Steve Jobs professed in his speech with the benefit of hindsight a few years down the line when I could actually connect the dots backwards. Currently, my life is like this cube. It seems fine more or less, but there are still some aspects missing. With a little more guidance, I can convert the cube and my life to this. This is what I expect Columbia to give me. Thank you for watching the video and have a good rest of the day.